My guy Chaps and White Sox Dave over here, they just got back from Greenland, and I want to hear all about it. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
For the reindeer, you can get 5 tags a day, and if you tag out, you tag out, but you can go back the very next morning and get 5 more. It's just 5 per day is the limit.
I would love some seal jerky. You guys didn't have
It is
to
a
bring any home?
boondoggle. I would love to go back and hunt reindeer with Sydney Wells. That is like officially on my bucket list.
She'd do it in a heartbeat.
She would absolutely do it, yeah.
I would like to see you and Sydney Wells just up in Greenland clubbing seals.
I
don't want to see that.
I don't want to club seals. I have a respect for nature, Donnie.
Welcome back to Drop a Pin. My guy Chaps and White Sox Dave over here, they just got back from Greenland, and I want to hear all about it. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, I'm excited. We just got back Sunday. I think one of the biggest benefits of going there is definitely the travel, because you are going to a different country. You're going to a completely different culture that's also as accessible and communicative, like in style, as if you were going to Ireland, and possibly even easier because they don't have like the accents. So like going to the UK, everybody, when you arrive, you realize that every Greenlander has 3 languages. They speak English, Greenlandic, and Danish.
Wait, but you're trying to tell me that Greenlanders don't have an accent?
Not really.
Not really, yeah.
Like
It's
their
negligible.
English is like so Americanized because they watch so much Netflix and YouTube and stuff like that. I don't know if that's the reason why, but that's my assumption. They did talk to us a lot about watching those shows and like what shows they like. They sound like they're from the United States. Like in a big, there's some accent, but you have a bigger regional diction being from Boston than most Greenlanders.
You absolutely. That's a
crazy.
good call. You absolutely do. Like someone a thick like Jersey or New York or any type of East Coast accent they're more like a Midwestern English speaking language how they're speaking up there.
Yeah, so if you're going, like that's my initial pitch. If you're going for your first trip out of the country and you want to go someplace that you're nervous about flying over the entirety of the Atlantic Ocean, you don't have to do that, because there's a lot of people that are just like, I'll fly, but I don't want to go over the ocean.
Yeah.
You're only going up Baffin Bay. Like you're going up the eastern seaboard, flying from Newark, getting there. So it's a pretty easy travel day. It's like 3.5 hours from Newark.
Yeah, and if you were going to Ireland, that'd be closer to 6 hours from Newark.
Yeah, so you can get there. You're going to be able to talk to anybody. Like there's readily available hotels. The food, I know when I was going, I anticipated the worst.
Yes.
Like I wasn't expecting good food at all.
Yeah, because they don't like farm really there. They don't like
At
grow a
all.
lot
There's
of
no
crops.
agriculture.
Yeah.
One of their stats is that the ground is 100% arid. Like they don't have the ability to farm at all. So they do have greenhouses and things like that where some restaurants will source their own, but primarily everything that you're going to eat vegetable-wise is coming from vegetable or fruit or grain or starch or whatever is all coming from somewhere else. But the meats and proteins that they do have there are absolutely delicious. Like the muskox and reindeer, and I'm not saying it's delicious on a scale of like game meat. I'm saying it's delicious on a scale of going to a restaurant here.
Would you agree, Dave?
I completely agree, and Chap said it perfectly. So when I go abroad, the first thing I'm worried about is lodging. The second thing I'm worried about is food. And so what I like to do is I like to go to Reddit and just be like, I'm Dublin best restaurants Reddit in the Google search, and you'll get a bunch of people that are actually from wherever you're going to that can give you good recommendations. There was not a lot of that on
Nuke
for Nuke on the internet. So I was very worried. I thought we were going to be eating. I wasn't worried that it was going to be gross. I was worried more that I was going to get really sick of it really quick, and that their local cuisine would not be that good. But as Chap said, like I didn't even try the reindeer until like the 4th or 5th day that we were out there, because I was so hooked on the muskox. I got a muskox steak. It was like a ribeye shape, and it was better than any cut of beef I've ever had.
It was so tender.
Chicago's famous for their beef.
I
You're
understand
saying it's better
that.
than any steaks you've had in Chicago?
If you would have put that in front of me and with a cut of Chicago cut beef, whatever steak you want, I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. No, it
At
was
all.
that good.
It, like legitimately shockingly good at how places.
like,
and you're paying probably Chicago prices too.
Maybe even a tick more.
Yeah,
that
it's
is the
expensive. Like that.
one
it
bad
is an
part of
expensive
Greenland.
place.
It's super expensive to get to. It's super expensive to just stay at because they import literally everything. So
Yeah. What was your flight cost?
1,700 or
Yeah.
something like that, like just over.
Yeah. So I did mine on points, and he paid for his. So when you first arrive, like you land in the country, and it's kind of shocking. Like when you just look around, because you see the pictures of it, but when you're seeing just how vast that landscape is, and you can look over if you land on a clear day when the sun's shining like we did, you're just kind of like, holy shit. Like there's mountains everywhere, the water is beautiful, and I can't kind of wait to get down to the actual town. The airport is super modern, it's brand new. Like there's like security is super easy. We're in and out of customs in like 5 minutes. It took no time to get us into the taxi. Taxis are readily available. You just call them and they'll be there in like 5 or 10 minutes to pick you up from wherever you are. And probably pretty close to Uber prices. But we stayed at a place called the Hostel that is outside of town. Not too far outside of town, because you can't really stay outside of town because there's no roads.
Okay.
Like from town to town, there is no road. So
Yeah, so once you're in Nook, you're not getting out of Nook unless it's by boat.
Yeah,
by
pretty
boat
much.
or by plane or helicopter are really the only ways that you're going anywhere, or walking. But
Yeah.
you're going to be walking for a week like to get to the next town.
I don't even think you could walk.
I don't
Honestly,
know
you'd
if you
have to
could either.
climb the mountains and
Yeah.
then walk flat.
Yeah, and there's like the fjords that you have to get through and everything. But when we first arrive, you go over to get to the Inuk Hostel. You go up this gravel road, and then as soon as you crest that little hill, you see a big island mountain that's like off, like just a little bit into the water, and then there's icebergs that were like right there, and just this wide open landscape with little chunks of ice floating down the waterway, whatever that waterway is right there.
Yes.
And it is like breathtaking. And the air is so
I was
unbelievably
going to ask you
clean.
about the air, like just like stepping off of the plane.
It's-
Does it feel different?
It's
Feel
not so
fresh?
much at the airport, but once you get down by like the water, because I feel like it's almost like a brackish water where it's not super high salinity. So it doesn't have that typical, like if you're on the Boston Harbor, for example, you really can take in that salt.
Yeah.
Like if you're if you're at the Gulf of Mexico, you could take in that salt. It's less salt and just super fresh smelling. Like
Yeah.
because they don't have a lot of cars, there's not a lot of pollution or anything like that. You could smell some fish in the air depending on where you're at from time to time, but it is breathtakingly beautiful. Every place that you're looking at outside of the city, when you're looking around, you're not going to find an ugly spot in the country.
You if you can get to like any sort of high point, you got a 360 panorama view. Like Chaps and I would just be standing outside our hostel, just looking at the water, just like
Yeah.
like we wouldn't be talking to each other. We would just be looking for minutes on end, just watching the water, watching the icebergs, watching the sunlight kind of get to the horizon, because it never really fully went down when we were out there. And
Not
like,
even from like 2 to 4 a.m.
it was like
it's still
9 p.m. out
a little
here.
bit darker than dusk. Like
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
not ever completely like down.
Right.
Yeah. And I kept on seeing that giant kind of like mountain island. Does that sit like right at the harbor of Nook, or like right outside Nook?
No, so we're about, I think it was 2.5 miles across like the area. So we're on the opposite side of Nook from the harbor is
Okay.
where we were at. But it was right there. Like everything is pretty close. You can walk across the whole town in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's not very big.
Were the taxis crazy expensive?
Nope.
Not really. So I guess about $15 to take you across town.
Okay.
So
no.
that not bad at all.
No.
And like they don't expect tips. We tipped, but like it was very clear that like
Oh, you
tips,
just ruined the entire Greenland
tips weren't
economy.
expected.
right.
I mean, I mainly tip just because I don't want to carry around change. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
like
you
coins
got-
and
yeah.
stuff. Like I don't want to do that. But the area around our hostel, like if you're going, it's called the Inuk Hostel, and I think the 5 days I paid like $750 or something like that.
Yeah.
And It's no frills. Like, you're not going there.
Oh, I saw
It's
the
a
photo of
bed.
you and Dave. You guys were cozied up.
A bed, a
Yeah.
toilet, and a shower.
Yeah,
That's what
bed,
you
toilet,
get.
and a shower. There's not even like a couch in there or whatever. But it's perfectly fine because, and I would also think that that kind of thing is encouraged in a place where you should be outside. Like, you don't need to have a hotel so nice in an area like that where you're tempted just to stay inside all day.
Yeah, I mean, if you were there in the winter, you might want
Yeah.
a little more room inside.
I'm not
but
saying in that shit. There is no chance that thing
This
is
was the
warm.
perfect time of year for it, though, because
Yeah.
we were sleeping with the windows open, and we had these. I don't even know if they were considered twin beds. They were so small.
Yeah, I think they're
But
single beds. Yeah.
Chaps also brought the noisemaker, the white noise machine.
Uh-huh.
So we would sleep with the window open. It would get down to probably
40?
55
No,
in our
cool-
in our
cool-
room.
Oh, in our room, yeah, 45 degrees outside.
45 or so outside, and I slept flawlessly the entire trip. I like no jet lag really or anything. I have a couple regrets. I slept in too much because of how good the sleeping conditions were.
Yeah, but we also stayed out late, and
Which you can do because of the sun not going down. So
and
we
there
were
really
out late
ain't
every
shit
day.
to do in the morning.
Yeah,
Like, there's not
we
a
could have
whole-
gone hiking or something, but
Yeah.
you had your knee and
Yeah, my body's
Yeah.
in shambles, so we didn't do like any hiking or anything like that.
Okay.
But you wake up, and honestly, the biggest thing that I would encourage somebody if they wanted to go to Nook is just book everything with the Nook water taxi.
yes, they'll take care of
Like-
the whole vacation for you.
If you're there for 5 days, you could do something with Nook water taxi every day and be extremely happy.
Mm-hmm.
They had puffin tours that we didn't get the chance to take that are like a 3-hour puffin tours where they take you out to this island where there's just tons and tons of puffins that you can see. They give you like binoculars and shit. You go out on, all the captains on the boats are super nice and friendly. They'll answer any of your questions. You know, a lot of times captains on boats like that can be a little dickish.
Yeah.
Not with these
You know,
guys.
Everybody was super nice, super accommodating, and I'm sure that they get the same questions a million times.
Which can be annoying.
How often do you see whales? How do you get your food here? Like, and we were still asking those questions, and they were answering it like it was the first time they had been asked those questions. Like, they're very, very gracious hosts to us. But they have that. They have a fjord tour that we did that was a 7-hour boat trip where we went out. We did get to see unbelievable humpback whales. Like, we saw humpback whales come out of the water and their huge tails going down when they were diving down to the bottom of a 1,500-foot glacier
Drop.
carved fjord. Like,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
they you could hear it from so far away, like the pressure that the air is released from their blowholes. So we did that. We went to an abandoned village where like some Vikings used to live, and that was one of the first settlements that they had there. And now it's just like a summer home for some people. We went to
Shout out Eric the Red.
yeah, and Leif Erikson. So we went all over the place this one day, and it was 65 degrees, 61 degrees, beautiful weather. The seas were like glass. There was no bumps or anything when we were on our way out. They took us to this waterfall that they said that scientists had recently come from Virginia Tech, and they sampled the water. It was the second most pure water ever identified on planet Earth.
Holy
The other one
smokes.
being in Iceland, I believe
Yeah,
they said.
the other one was Iceland, a glacier from Iceland. And
Did you get to sample it?
We got like within 20 yards of it, but
Yeah, we couldn't
obviously
get
we didn't
close.
want to get capsized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't want like hands and stuff.
Yeah,
And-
yeah,
That'll
yeah.
rip your hands off probably.
But we were looking at it, and you're approaching this huge wall that is lava stone or whatever the fuck it's made out of, and it's just gorgeous. And then there's this huge waterfall that's coming off of a glacier, and you just feel so special. And when we came back from that day, I was like, I gotta look this up. So I pulled up ChatGPT and gave it all these different instructions, like go back over 50 years of known tourist numbers, and gave it all these different like prompts to like preface what I was going to ask it. And then I said, knowing what you know about current tourism numbers and past tourism numbers, people who lived here throughout history, what is your best estimate of people who have ever been to Greenland? And ChatGPT's answer and Gemini's and another one of the like AI all were around 3.5 to 5 million people ever have been to Greenland. And so then I asked it, same modeling, what is your estimate of people who have ever lived? And it's 110 to 115 billion people. So then I asked what percentage of people have ever gone to Greenland, and it's 0.00027% of people have ever gone to Greenland. So
And they're including all of the like North American tribes and
Yes,
stuff
all
that
the
made their way over there.
all the indigenous people, all the
Yeah.
Inuit, everything, like taking all
fuel.
because this is the most that's ever lived there, and there's 55,000 people that live there currently, and there's 20,000 in Nook. So when you're out on this area, and then the next time we went out, I was like, how lucky are we that of all the people that have ever existed on Earth, that we're one of the lucky few that have ever been to this area.
Yeah, just pristine, untouched.
Yeah, pristine, untouched, beautiful, beautiful waters. The fishing there, if you like fishing, it's so different. I had seen
I saw the mutant fish that they pulled up.
So the reason why they have that is like up against like where that glacier or where that waterfall is, as soon as it hits the water line, it goes straight down to at least 700 feet deep is what they were saying. But most of the area is 1,500 to 3,000 feet deep in those areas. So these redfish that are really like prevalent in the area, they all swim on the bottom. And because of that, the amount of pressure that's on their eyes, that's the reason why their eyes are so huge. They're really like those deep sea creatures.
Yeah, because also I assume the larger the eye, the more like light, like more like sensitive it is too.
It's kind of like a aperture on a camera.
And you got to eat that fish?
It was just snapper is what it was.
That was a snapper,
was
but it was like
snapper,
a
yeah.
deep water snapper.
So this
Yeah, it's like the mangrove snapper that we had in Key West.
Yeah.
It's the same species.
Okay.
But
I don't know if
just
it's a migratory thing or where they spawn or whatever, but from what I remember him saying is the eyes bug out due to the change in pressure when you're reeling them up.
Oh, if you catch the fish like 800 feet deep,
Right, and then you reel them up really quick.
Those eyes are just gonna pop out of its skull.
I think that's what he said, but I'm not sure. But it was red snapper, and we took it right to a Thai restaurant in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah,
literally
so
hours north.
Before we
shut up.
Yeah.
before
Shut up
we
the
get
ties.
there,
Yeah.
So the fishing process is a little different. You know, like most places you go, you got your rod, your reel, you throw it over. Their fishing pole is like these two pieces of wood with a spindle in the middle, and it's just line wrapped around, and it has heavy weights with 3 hooks on it, and they hold it, and the weight like brings it down to the bottom, and it stops as soon as it gets to the bottom, and then you start going up. These fish don't fight at all, so you can barely feel anything on the line, and you pull it up and you wrap around this makeshift fishing pole, and then it finally comes up and you're like, oh shit, I got a huge fish on the line.
Like multiple sometimes.
Yeah, like I had like a 15-pound fish on the end of my line and had no idea like that it was even on there.
Were they all the same type of fish, or did you catch a few
There
varieties?
was cod and what they call redfish is what they call
right.
it. But
I got to see a photo of this like
the cod was actually a
Greenlandic
beautiful
fishing
fish.
rod, because I'm not really.
It's-
I can't.
yeah, you
Really picture
I'm
it.
sure that'll come up if you Google it that way.
It's just like a hand reel.
Yeah. No. It's not like that. No. It's like 2 sticks essentially.
Two sticks
There's
that
no
are
actual
attached
pole
together.
with it. It's
Hand-
just a
maybe
reel
hand
with a
pole?
thick line.
Maybe hand pole.
The infamous Greenlandic hand pole. Greenland.
It's not a pole though. It's just a reel. Just say hand reel.
Yeah, maybe hand reel. REEL.
I don't spell
Oh.
real.
I think. Wait, how do you spell real? I think I found it.
Yeah.
Well, I
it's just-
found a hand. Oh wait, is it like that?
I don't know if that's like how they fish normally. I think it might have
It's a
just been because
spool
we
like
were
to-
with like 15 other people.
Maybe it's
and it was
a
easy.
Kabuya casting hand line. I don't know, but okay, yeah, I can kind of picture it. Is it a Kabuya?
It's just a
yeah.
giant like
Yeah.
a thread basically. Just a
Yes.
big spool of thick fishing line that you just drop it and like Chap said,
Okay, yep, and you got like
it's the reel without the pole.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either
I
way,
got
so
it.
it's super simple. Not like you're gonna reach back on
It's
it.
the
or
most
anything
dummy
like
proof
that.
fishing on earth.
Yeah, it's super easy. But as soon as the fish come up, they come up to you with this big plastic bag. You take the hook out of the fish's mouth and put it in this bag, and then you take a little 20-minute boat ride, and you stop at this place that there's like 5 or 6 buildings there, and one of those buildings is a Thai restaurant. And
So this is a town that's not Nook.
No.
It's just
No, this
another
is-
Greenland
about
town.
100
it's not even really a
kilometers.
town. It's just like it's not a town. It's not a village. It's just like 5 or 6 houses that are in the middle of nowhere.
Little Thailand.
Yeah. And
Greenland's Thai neighborhood.
this Greenlandic chef went to Thailand and worked at like a really nice restaurant as a sous chef. And then he came back to Greenland and works at this restaurant. And they take the fish out of the bag, they cut it in front of you, they prepare it, and they cook it. He made fish soup, like
It was
Thai
the
fish
best soup I've ever had.
Legitimately the best soup I've ever eaten in my life.
It was incredible.
Everything, none of the fish had even touched ice before. It was just, we caught them, he cooked them. He fried some, he steamed some, he grilled some, and made different preparations with different things that he had grown in his greenhouse, like the serrano peppers. Everything was super fresh, grown there.
Dude, this
It
is
was
nuts.
so good.
It was insane. And that was
That's the
included
last-
in the fishing price for the trip. So the deep sea fishing trip for, I think that one it was like $150, $200 or something like that each.
Yeah.
But you get 7 hours on the water. You get a tour guide that shows you where you're going. You get to go see the fjords. You saw some humpback whales. You saw this abandoned village. And you eat at this insanely good restaurant. Like, I can't tell you how... It's the best Thai food I've ever had.
I'm just shocked that TripAdvisor even has an article that's the 5 best Thai restaurants in Greenland. What is up with the
I don't
the
know,
Thai
but that was
community
one of
in
the
Greenland?
nicer restaurants. And I think it ended with porn. And one of their names is porn.
That's a Thai dish.
No, that's the restaurants. The last...
I
the
remember
suffix
seeing
of it
that.
was
Yeah.
porn.
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Because, I also found an article by on NPR, and it's a tiny Thai restaurant in remote Greenland serves up spice and whaleskin soup.
That's probably
Yeah,
it.
that's got to be it.
Yeah.
We had, I don't know, there was probably 15 total people with us, maybe a little less. And so they have like a pre-prepared meal that they cook with the fish you caught that they give you. You don't like have a menu. But there was a couple other families there that you could see what they ordered off the menu because they still have their full-on normal fare in their cuisine. And some of it, I was just... Because we ate so much we had to like do a little fart walk around around the fjord basically.
Yeah.
And we had a few hours before the boat came back to pick us up to take us back to Nook. So within like 3 hours, because everything's so fresh, you get hungry again pretty quickly, you know. I wanted to go back in there so bad, and that's one of my other regrets because they had this plate of, I don't know what it was. It was just a giant bowl of Thai food.
Some
Crab rangoon?
the beef one, right? The one that looked like beef.
Yes, it was beef something. It was beef something.
Probably muskox or
Probably
reindeer.
muskox or something
Like a
local.
Thai muskox skewer or
And
something.
It
I
smelled
wish I would have
unbelievably
just
good.
gone back and just made myself miserably full, and I didn't.
Yeah.
What was the name of the restaurant?
I don't remember.
I don't know either.
Wait, but were you saying the last part was porn?
That
was in the
one's
name.
The porn one is in Nook.
Oh, okay.
This one is
Yeah.
outside of Nook, like in the middle of absolute nowhere.
It was 100
when the vlog
kilometers
comes
north.
Out, when the vlog comes out, there'll be a part where Dave and I are talking to the camera, like in a mountainside, and that area, that mountain that we're on, that little island is the island where that restaurant's at.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did find porn. It's called Restaurant Chiron Porn.
Yeah.
But that's not the one on the island where you guys
No,
were.
I heard that one was good too, but we didn't eat.
Someone
at that
actually
place.
recommended that to us.
But legitimately, the food is very elevated, but you're
Yeah.
going to pay. This is not a place Greenland is not a place where you're going and be like, oh, I'm doing a cheap vacation.
Yeah,
Not at
because
all.
even though it's a 3.5 flight from Newark, it's just like so few people go there that it's going to be expensive.
Well, everything is imported.
it's- Yeah,
Like,
it's
we
so
were paying
hard-
Wrigley
hard-
prices just for beer at like
yeah,
dive
no, I was
bars.
saying more like
Yeah.
the flights aren't going to be cheap either, just because like so few people go. That
Right. I
the
think they
flights
have
do,
flights
they have to charge a
to
bunch.
Greenland from Newark on Tuesday and Saturday now, is it? And then return flights on Sunday and
Yes.
Thursday, I believe, or something like that.
Something like that.
The Thai, I remember when I went to Alaska, there were a lot of Thai people there too. I wonder if there is any reason why like the Thai have just like flocked to all these Arctic
Yeah, that
destinations
doesn't
and
really
set up
make sense to
shop.
me.
Well, this guy wasn't Thai. This guy
Oh,
was.
just
yeah, but
was
he
trained in
just
Thai.
learned in Thailand.
Yeah, he learned there.
Yep. But yeah, it does say just Greenland has a serious shortage of workers, so they're kind of always looking for people to come and like work in restaurants, hotels, tourism, other jobs.
And that's one thing that I think this city will look totally different in 10 to 20 years because the amount of construction that's going on there now, it's pretty vast. Like there's a lot of construction that's happening. You could tell that they're building like new apartment buildings, and apartment living is how they get down too.
Yeah.
There is some single family homes, but by and large people live in apartments there.
I thought it was cool that there was a big Barstool fan who lives in Greenland, and like when he saw
Lars,
the first
shout
post
out
of you
Lars.
guys, he was like, "Holy shit, Barstool finally came to Greenland! I'm pumped."
Yeah.
Did you talk to him at all, or?
Back and forth through DMs a little bit, but never met up with him. I would have liked to. He was out busy doing his glacier study stuff.
Yeah. Seems like he was always on a plane heading somewhere.
Helicopter, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Now, obviously, Greenland's been in the news, probably the most it's ever been in the news, like the past couple years, just because Trump has expressed interest in buying it. Did any of the locals talk to you about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were not into it at all.
There was one that was completely indifferent
brought up
in
to
the rest.
you once they found out you were American?
Yes, several did.
Okay.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Okay. And
Just kind of like how we felt. They're like, how do you feel about the Trump thing? And I would be like, I hate it. And
Dave would be like, yeah, we're here to scout out
That's
our new
not true
territory.
at all. That is absolutely not true at all.
You should have said that.
I think we probably spoke with like 5 people about it, and 4 of them were like vehemently against it, and 1 was completely indifferent. There was nobody that was like, yeah, I want this to be an American territory now. Not one person I came across.
No, and we were really like sensitive of not trying to go in there and stir shit up.
Yeah.
We were trying to be as good of guests in Greenland
Yeah.
as we
I think by the
could.
end of the week, because it's such a small community that like we were seeing a lot of the same tourists throughout town and stuff like that were there during the same time, you know?
Yeah.
So during the end of the week, like we had ran into a few of the same locals, and I think that they appreciated our wit and humor, and honestly, like so we went and saw this live band by chance. We stumbled on it, and it was like one of my favorite parts of the trip
because we were fucking drunk.
We were hammered and
leaving a nice meal or
looking
something, just hammered, and then
we went.
We were looking for like munchies.
Well, we
like
came
drunk
back
food.
from. I think that day
stoned as balls.
We were on our long fjord trip, and we came back and we ate, and then had a couple drinks at a bar. Like then we came back. And we heard music because the restaurant at the hostel, like even though it was like gourmet style too, it had very weird hours, and there was no telling when it was going to be open. It was kind of exciting, like, oh, are we eating today or not? type of thing. And we heard the music go in. I was like, is that acoustic guitar? And like, yeah, let's go check it out. So we went in there just to grab like a nightcap. And they had these 2 dudes. One of the guys, his family had been in Greenland forever. And he went to school in Denmark, the University of Denmark, and studied music. So he was like amazingly talented guitarist.
Dude, this guy sounded like Ray LaMontagne, if you're familiar with him, like a raspy, like soulful.
I'm not familiar with that guy.
I'm trying to get the rights so we can put it into our vlog.
These guys, like, they were so good. Like talented singing, like so they would be flipping through their pages like looking for songs to play, and this is in front of their family mostly. It's us 2, their family, and like a couple of significant others.
There's probably
like
20 people.
Yeah,
in there.
maybe.
Yeah, because I assume they need like a full-time gig. Like they can't really make
One
it
of them
as just
taught-
a musician.
One of them was a music teacher.
Both of them are music teachers.
Okay, yeah. But like, I hate saying it like this, but I'm going to do it for simplicity's sake. If they were in America, they would be famous. They would be like so famous if they wanted to be. They were so musically gifted. It was like, it blew me away.
To give you an idea, there's 57,000 people in the world that speak Greenlandic. They have a video of them singing that has over 1 million views, which I think is pretty.
And so they're singing
Mathematically,
in
that's
Greenlandic.
amazing.
Huh?
They're singing in Greenlandic.
Yeah.
But just that their voices are so beautiful.
Their voices are so good. Well, I think they're so popular in Greenland too. Like people kept reiterating like they're famous here. Like these guys are famous here.
And maybe famous in Denmark by way of Greenland.
Maybe.
I don't know
Maybe
about
more.
that, but they were really good. Like they sang like Purple Rain, and they would sing English, Greenlandic, and Danish in the same song, like going
And
back and forth.
seamlessly put it together.
Sometimes in the middle of one verse or chorus, they would go back and forth languages.
I was actually shocked just to learn that Greenlandic is its own language. I thought they would maybe just speak some version of Norwegian left over from the Vikings or Danish because it's been a Danish colony for so long. But I mean, is Greenlandic very similar to one of those languages?
It's more like it's more so the Arctic Circle like type of languages, like whether it's Inuit or Nunavut or like Greenlandic, like those, they all have the same like root words and
vowel
almost
structure and
sounds and everything. But it was very different sounding, very different looking language. Everything looks long as hell. It'd be like, what's that 18-letter word and like gum?
Yeah. That was actually cool. We one of the first nights we were there, we were bopping around trying to get a feel for the town, and we bummed a hoon off this local who he insisted we come upstairs to his bar, which was on top of a dive bar we were at.
Shout out Loki.
His name was Loki. Sweet name.
That is a sweet name.
I don't know if that was a nickname or his name, but
I don't know either.
Nevertheless, it was cool. And he's like, I swear to God, I make the best espresso martini in all of Greenland. And he's not lying. It was the best I've ever had. On top of that, we also they have Glacier vodka. And he handed it to me, and I didn't want to offend him because I do not like vodka, like unless it's heavily mixed. I cannot do vodka. So I warned him so I didn't like puke at his local drink, you know. It tasted like absolute water.
Because it's made from glacier water.
It was the smoothest drink I've ever had in my life.
Bobby
it was
Boucher.
crazy. It was the Vicky Valancourt, Bobby Boucher.
And it was smooth. It was an incredible like espresso martini for sure. All the food there was great, but like being out there on the water and looking around was so peaceful, and I keep finding myself like going back and looking at like all the different pictures and just how amazing it was. Like that, one of my favorite things too was the crows, because I think crows are just so smart and so cool to watch what they do. All of the vegetation that you can see that grows on Greenland, it's from crowberries, and it's called crowberries because that's what the crows eat. Like they eat all these berries that are just everywhere. And you know like if you go to Maine and you go to the blueberry fields and you have like the little silver handle that you can rub into the bushes and you get like a million, you could do that in a second with the crowberries.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
Can you eat crowberries?
Yeah, they're like kind of flavorless, but
not poisonous.
Not poisonous. No.
Would they serve like crowberry jam or anything?
I bet they.
I didn't see any. Maybe. I mean,
yeah.
maybe they do if you add sugar to it or something. I could see it being, but it wasn't something.
These crows, though,
there.
they were like the size of my dog. They're the biggest crows on Earth.
And aren't they one of the top 5 smartest animals?
I think they're the smartest.
They're super smart. That's the
I'm pretty
smartest
well.
bird.
Crow and raven.
maybe the smartest.
I think they were technically ravens, not crows.
Okay.
I know this kind of thing.
Same family. Yeah.
Same family. The corvid family, I believe.
Oh damn! What a pull.
They were huge. Like they were not like the local.
Legit the size of that microphone stand, like the arm of it, and just the top part.
Yeah.
About that, maybe a little bit smaller. They were
a little bit smaller, but they were
massive.
Monster
like
birds.
Hawks. Like they were big birds.
Did you see some other kind of like land creatures? So you saw humpback whales, 2 types of fish. They had some puffins. I don't know if you saw any.
We didn't see the puffins.
I just
and
did
then
the
on
puffins.
land,
There
was
are
it-
muskox that live there too, and reindeer that live there.
Okay, but those reindeer weren't like wild reindeer. They were.
No, they're wild reindeer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're hundreds of thousands. Because one night, you weren't in here. You were watching the White Sox, and I was talking to him one night about like sustainability. Because like one of the guys who, by the way, was the hottest guy I've ever seen in my life.
I was going through pictures of the trip, and I just stumbled upon. I was taking pictures of him like a psychopath, just like under my table. I'm like, dude, I gotta show people how hot this guy is.
So I'm sitting there talking. We're talking to all these Greenlanders, right? Me and Dave. The first night that we were listening,
we were
to
buzzed.
play music, we were buzzed. And after like 2 hours, I was like, "Fuck it, I gotta say it." I was like, "You're like the hottest dude I've ever seen in my life."
I was thinking this from the
must
instant
clean
we
up.
walked in. From the instant we walked into the restaurant, I'm like, dude,
He's like 6'4",
jaw like
super built,
Yeah.
wide shoulders, wearing like a orange beanie with it rolled up, looking like
just
a
looked cool.
Brooklyn
Yeah.
hipster with like a nice flannel. Everybody else is drinking. He doesn't care. He's drinking a Pepsi Zero because he doesn't need
He's
that.
not putting that junk in his body.
He's not putting that into his body. And I found out later that he was a biophysicist.
Yeah,
so the hottest dude I've ever seen is a biophysicist.
And he's the smartest dude.
If he's the hottest man you've ever seen, he was the hottest man in Greenland. I mean, like, I think people listening may forget Greenland has a population of like 56,000 people.
This guy would be in the 1% of any nationality, though.
So that's why when those two musicians, like, they're famous in Greenland, it's like, okay, I would hope that they're famous in Greenland.
I'm telling you, Donnie, this guy would be a top 1%er in terms of looks in any ethnicity.
Yeah.
And he's got the brains.
Be showing a photo of him in the pod.
Should we get the rights, obviously, to the live music?
I think if we just have a quick photo of him.
Yeah, we could throw a photo. Yeah. We could throw, but he's not smiling. He's not carrying on, so it might not give the same je ne sais quoi. But he was super hot. Also, me and Dave were sitting on the banks one afternoon at the hostel that we were at, and we went and got like a 6-pack, and we're just drinking some beers out there. Like, it was our last day, actually, the day before we were supposed to leave.
Taking in the views one last time.
This family was out there swimming, and the dad goes, and we thought we were super tough for getting in the water, and then like a 2-year-old little girl, and
you just found a full-on family going for a swim. Is there like a beach in Nook?
Not a beach. Really, it's like a rocky shore.
A shoreline for sure. And the dad like takes off his shirt and he like drops trowel. Like, being naked is totally normal there.
Mm-hmm.
He gets out of the water, and mind you, this water is like 2 degrees Celsius, like 36 degrees Fahrenheit. And I look over at Dave, and Dave's like, "Yep." Yeah. I'm like, that dude had an absolute hammer.
A wrench.
Because if it's still that sizable after swimming in the Arctic?
Yes, that's what I said. I was like, the fact that his dick is that big after he just got out of that water is insane.
I was in it for
so these Greenland women are getting railed by hot dudes with huge hogs.
Now let's talk about the woman. I know you guys are both
thumbs down
in relationships, but did any of them catch your eye, or just like, I don't know?
I didn't notice any attractive women. There might have been one attractive woman.
I will say this. I made a comment to Chaps that I thought we had ran into, like, the little cafe worker that she was like, if you were to go to check into the hostel, she was there. If you wanted to order food, she was there. I thought that I had seen her in a different part of town. I'm like, it just turns out they all look exactly the same. That's what I like. Every single woman I looked at.
Women all look exactly the same.
They all look the same. We'll scratch that from the record. They don't all look the same.
I thought they all look the same.
All the women in Greenland
don't look exactly the same. But they are not. Something happened to the fellas there, where the fellas are infinitely more attractive than the women that live there.
The women all were on the heavy side. A little, not like fat, but like a little.
What's it? Really? Okay, I just Googled Greenlandic woman. Found one that is marginally cute. Well, there's something about islands. So I did my honeymoon in French Polynesia, and I can honestly say the whole time I was there, not like I didn't see a single attractive woman where I'm like, oh, that's a beautiful woman. And hey, so it's a good place for a honeymoon.
I guess that's a good point.
I'll say this. Also, beauty in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah. There were some very nice women there, but
I
just don't find other women attractive because my wife is so hot.
That's how I feel too.
I only have eyes for my wife,
girlfriend, and I.
So it could. Who knows? Greenland could have just a huge amount of Sydney Sweeneys and Jennifer Love Hewitts just walking around, and we don't know because we are so in love with our significant others.
Correct.
This episode is brought to you by Noble. Noble is Barstool's favorite footwear brand, and at the end of the day, just a bunch of no bullshit people working hard to get better. And it's getting to be that time of the year for a reset. Summer's winding down, football is back, schedules start filling up, and you kind of get back into a rhythm. Whether you're getting back in the gym, taking the dog for longer walks, or just trying to move more, momentum starts by showing up, and Noble can be the first step in helping you build that momentum. No gimmicks, no flashy promises, just apparel and footwear that helps you keep going once you get moving. If you've been looking for a sign to get back into a routine, this is probably it. Check out what Noble's doing, because once you get rolling, the hardest part is already behind you. And exclusively for Drop a Pin listeners, Noble is offering 35% off your first order. So visit www.nobleproject.com and use code DROPAPIN for 35% off your first entire order. That's www.nobleproject.com and use code DROPAPIN for 35% off.
Today's show is also brought to you by our friends at Blue Chew. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, what do women want and need? I don't know, but when the vibe is right, but a good consensual dick appointment never hurt. They're sponsoring the podcast and sponsoring your bedroom performance. Wow. And with their new arousal boosting formula, you're getting turned on mentally and physically. Blue Chew Gold is better sex in a tablet. They combine 4 ingredients into one powerful solution. 2 ingredients that get you hard physically and 2 support arousal and desire in the old brain. It works fast and lasts. Guys have a complete experience in the bedroom with Blue Chew Gold. There's a reason Blue Chew is the #1 brand for better sex. Experience it yourself at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners right now. When you buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold, you get the 3rd for free with the promo code DROP. That's promo code DROP. When you will also receive an additional 10% off and free overnight shipping on your first order. So if you're horny, it could be to your door real quick. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. We thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the pod and our bedroom.
Drop a Pin's also brought to you by Shady Rays. All right, guys, quick question. How are my Shady Rays basically the same quality as $200 sunglasses I used to buy? And I'm not exaggerating. They feel every bit as premium as the expensive brands I've owned in the past. Meanwhile, I'm wearing Shady Rays to the lake, on a boat, at the game, on the job site, because if I drop them in the ocean, they replace them. Knock them off the dock, they replace them. Sit on them day one, they replace them. And here's the crazy part. They're actually premium polarized lenses that cut glare hard and give you super clear optics. And they have durable frames with solid hinges and clean classic styles that look sharp without trying too hard. I've gotten like lots of compliments anytime I'm rocking my Shady Rays. They look a lot better. When I first started making videos, I was just buying like gas station shades that I would find off the rack. And yeah, those would fall apart all the time. I would also lose them all the time and not be able to get them replaced, but that's not a problem ever since I started wearing Shady Rays. And we've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com and use code PIN for 50% off 2 or more polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Was there a big Inuit presence there? Or was it more kind of like, did most people seem like they had European heritage or Inuit heritage?
Very blended heritage, I would say.
Okay.
Like there was aspects of all of those cultures like mixed, like together, and they're definitely like I definitely saw people with the very traditional Inuit tattoos, like on their, like the women that were married,
a handful,
like, a handful, especially ones that were on their way back north. I think it's a more common thing because Nook is still pretty south in like for Greenland. It's about a quarter of the way up the western coast.
And so some people in the more rural communities will like stop in Greenland to like refuel, resupply, and then
or
head
stop
back
in
north.
Nook.
Yeah. Nook.
So they'll stop down there, and then Ilulissat is another place that they said is like an 8-hour boat ride, ferry ride to get there. That's the next biggest town in Greenland. One crazy interesting thing when we were talking to one of the captains coming in, he was like, "That's one of the high schools." So think about how big this place is. You can fit like just in the national park that they have there, the Northeast National Park is the largest national park of anywhere in the world. In that national park, you could put Greenland, France, and Poland inside that park. Like that's how big that national park is. So that kind of
Germany, France, and Poland.
Germany, France, and Poland. What did I say?
Greenland, France, and Poland.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, Germany, France, and Poland into that national park. You have that size of an area. Only 4 high schools for the whole country. So if you live in one of the remote villages, like in northern Greenland or eastern Greenland, they will pay for you, Denmark and Greenland pay for you to come and live in a dorm when you're in high school, and they feed you and do everything. And it serves a couple purposes. One, it makes sure that their populace is being educated. Two, it releases some of the financial burdens off of families.
Yep.
Like a little bit earlier.
To feed a family, it's expensive.
Yeah, feeding a family is expensive. But that size, 4 times the size of Texas with 4 high schools,
Yeah.
is so little.
And they're all
Yeah.
boarding schools.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
boarding schools. So if you live in Nook, you can still go to that school, still be boarded, but you pay $100 a month. Your family has to pay $100 a month, the equivalent of $100
Yeah.
a month, which isn't that bad of a deal. But I thought that's just so outside, like the United States mind.
Right,
of
right.
Oh, yeah.
How many high schools? I mean,
And then they have one university, I would assume? Or?
there's one university, and they have biosciences, English, and one other subject I think that they had. But that school is getting a little bit bigger, and they're doing expansions. But a lot of the kids, because they have their relationship with the Kingdom of Denmark, those kids are also eligible to go to Denmark, and they pay like in-country tuition,
Yeah.
or whatever, which is free. Like their schooling is free for the most part if they get into one of those schools.
And I think they should go to Denmark, even if they know they're coming right back to Greenland. It's probably nice
Most
to
of
get a
them
little time off island.
said that I should say most of them. One person I spoke with, I think it was our captain, Sebastian.
Yeah.
He studied and lived in Copenhagen for, I think it was 4 years, he said. And he's like, I loved it. I did my time there. I couldn't wait to get back. I couldn't stand having a flat landscape, which is, I've never been to Copenhagen, but I understand it's like
It's
Yeah.
Chicago.
flat. It's Chicago, no hills
Yeah.
whatsoever. He's like, I missed home. So he came back to Nook, and there he is.
Hot guy said that too. Like,
Yeah.
he said that he went and got his degree and his like follow-on degrees there, and got offered a job in France, and he went to France for a little while, and said that he was so hot and missed home so much that he came back to Greenland, and he was like,
Damn.
me and my family will never leave. Like there's
Now,
you could tell like how closely knit the families
Very,
were
yes.
too. Like family is so important there.
oh, for sure. Now, but is there like a little bit of a dark side too? Because even places like Nantucket, which is isolated in terms of Massachusetts, in the winters, like things can get tough, and it's got a high suicide rate. A lot of people are addicted to drugs. Like, is there like a big alcoholism problem in Greenland?
I noticed some signs that were out that definitely lend to that opinion. Yeah, for sure.
What? I didn't notice. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
there was like some yellow signs, different places. Like if you're noticeably intoxicated, you'll be asked to leave immediately. Like there was several signs in different establishments that I saw that were there. And I didn't point them out, but they were yellow and in Greenlandic. And I just did like the Google Glass over it, and that's what it said.
Yeah.
But that is a thing. But one of the ways that they combat it, from one of the guys that I was talking to one night, he said that they spend kind of like Chicago, like in Chicago, when you get off work, you're definitely going to see people walking their dogs. You're going to see people running. You're going to see people out and about when the weather's nice.
Yes.
The same thing in Greenland. Like they're in their summer season, so everybody's out and about. Everybody's doing stuff. And they go on these longer hunting trips. They'll go, like that's when they'll go on like their vacations outside of Greenland if they're going to go outside of Greenland. But then when they come back in the wintertime, that's when they really focus on reconnecting with their families. So they view the wintertime as like family bonding. They don't necessarily view it as a bad thing, but that's how they reconnect and reestablish
More
those
family time.
connections.
Yeah. So being a single dude might be rough in the winter in Greenland.
Yeah.
But I feel like that, well, maybe that single dude still lives with his family.
Probably lives at home.
I would
Yeah,
imagine.
He said
right.
they
Until
like,
they get married.
Like Hot Guy went hunting. Like it started August 1st was the opening of their hunting season, and he said that they went to go reindeer hunting, and he went out to this mountain, got up on the top with like him and another buddy that went out there. He said they were there for 4 hours and killed 5 reindeer, and they have to like field strip them, pack them out, and do all that stuff. But that's a lot of work because these are like 220 pounds of meat, even field dressed. Like it's a lot. And so their families are, I was like, well, why would you need 5? And it's like that probably one would feed your family for likely a year. And he was like, well, you underestimate how much reindeer we eat. And 2, he was like, as soon as I get back, I butcher one and bring it to my mother as a gift, and then I bring one and I give. If you have any sisters, you give them half of one for all your sisters that you have. So it's like you're taking care of your family.
Your
by
whole
hunting.
extended family and their families.
Yeah. Like it's a real big. Because I asked one night, I was like, "How do you guys even afford it?" Like, because we went to a grocery store and everything, especially the proteins. Like the proteins were nuts.
It was like Polina meat market prices.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if if you're trying to go in there and buy, I don't know, ground beef or something, it's going to be
Don't do it.
very
It's going to be
expensive.
$25 for a pound.
Yeah, but most families will just go out and hunt.
Yeah, they
how do you
laughed
afford?
at us.
I was like, "How do you afford buying meat?" And they all like started laughing. They're like, "What are you talking about? Buying meat?
Yeah,
we
they
don't
don't
buy meat."
Buy that shit.
He's like,
We
"If you
hunt
want
that shit."
fish, go to the dock. You'll have 1 million fish in 20 minutes."
Yeah. When you were out at restaurants, was the fish cheaper than if you were getting like muskox?
Not really.
Not really.
No, still
everything
expensive?
was expensive.
That was the. So I've been kind of mapping this out in my head a little bit. If I had to rank everything that I look for in a vacation, nature, food, people, accessibility, the nightlife there, non-existent. And
Non-existent, but there's something like
That-
it
which
feels
is
like
fine
going
to
to a
me,
dive
which is
bar
fine
in
to
Nook,
me.
Greenland would be a really cozy experience.
It was
that the
awesome.
case?
Yeah.
If you're ready to just chill at night and have and you're going in with the low key expectation
Yes,
of
it's perfect.
being at a dive bar and also paying $18 for a draft beer each.
Ooh, okay.
You're gonna be fine. If you get the Greenlandic beer, it's like $8. But if you
Okay.
order a draft beer, it's going to be way more expensive. But yeah, if you go to Dave's right. Like if you're trying to go to a club or if you're trying to go to a nice cocktail bar or something like that, that's not the place you're going to do it.
No, I don't think anyone's going to Greenland to go to a club, though.
No.
Yeah.
But all the other intangibles, what are your other categories?
Food, it was incredible.
I would say food, I would give on a 5 scale, I would give the food probably a 4.1.
Okay.
Like
That's
I
very
could have
solid.
done a little more variation and
Yeah.
more breakfast options, quick options would have been better. But as far as sit down restaurants, whatever you put in your face is going to be good.
That's living here, I don't often eat a lot of burgers. It's like every few months. I had like 4 out there, and they're all outstanding.
Yeah, they're all great burgers.
Outstanding
Even the
burgers.
bread is different and fresh. Like it was good.
Muskox burgers?
Muskox.
A lot of them were blend, but the first one I had was just full muskox, and I'm like, oh my god, this is delicious.
Have you ever had Canadian beef?
I've had burgers in Canada.
Like the
So I
different,
assume
like
that was Canadian-
there's a
Canadian beef.
grain-fed, corn-fed differentiation on texture of Canadian beef versus U.S. beef, and the texture there is more similar to Canadian style beef,
All right.
which is I think it's more tender. I think it's great.
Is a that'd be a form of beef, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
red
I
meat,
just
yeah.
had to look up a photo of a muskox for the first time. I think I have seen it
but it'd be
before.
red meat.
Very, very cool looking. They almost look like those creatures from the beginning of The Empire Strikes Back in Star Wars, but
I
like a
It's been a minute.
darker version. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, they look sweet. They look just like an African water buffalo
Yes.
wearing a
Yeah.
fur
Yes.
coat.
Yes. I would say nature is 5 out of 5.
Oh,
Like,
1,000 out of 5.
It doesn't
It's
get better.
It's like when you're flying into Nook. So I have never
Snow-capped. If some of those mountains were snow-capped, it would have been a whole nother level.
The weather out there was when we were on the boat the first day. I think I've said this like 10 times now. It was the best weather of anywhere on planet Earth on that given moment. Like it was 62 degrees, 0 humidity, 0 wind,
Zero
crystal
clouds.
clear. Like when I was looking at the sun, I was like, I gotta cover up because I'll burn right now, even though we were that far north. And so, but when you're flying in, I've never landed on an airway like this, but you're flying underneath the mountains. So on one side you have a mountain range, and you're like, we're really close to that. And then on the other side, you look out the other window if you can look out it. It's same thing. So it's like it's kind of
Pull up
scary
Greenland
landing
International
out.
Airport.
But
Get
we
an
had
aerial
the
view.
absolute perfect sunlight when we were landing in that. Where when they would hit the icebergs, the sunlight from the view you had, you could see all the iceberg underneath the water too.
Yeah, see how it's kind of elevated?
Yeah, it's like above town.
Yeah.
And that you go in, and Dave said that on his way in, he saw like a pod of humpback whales.
I swear to God I did, But now that I'm thinking back, I'm not positive if my mind was playing tricks on me or not.
Just say you did. It's good.
Do you think it was like an iceberg now that you're
No, it
thinking
couldn't
back
have been
on it?
icebergs because they were black.
I would imagine they were. Like, that's what it
Yeah,
was.
that wouldn't be far-fetched. Didn't get to see the Northern Lights, and
They were overhead. It just turns out that it needs to be dark outside.
Yeah,
yeah,
which we didn't
I was when
really.
when you brought that up, and you were like, "We're going to see some Northern Lights." I was going to say something, but I'm not an expert, and you seemed very excited, so I didn't want to be the like,
I
well,
appreciate
Because we were looking
well,
at the map.
actually-
They were there.
They
But-
were technically
They were there. You just can't see
but
'em.
it didn't get dark enough to see them. You know,
Well, on the
Good.
bright side, didn't Chicago have crazy Northern Lights
last year.
And was it you who posted a photo? Someone posted
No,
a photo and I was like, holy
my
shit, that's in
girlfriend,
Chicago?
her family's from out like on the Mississippi River, out towards the Quad Cities, and they had it unbelievably. And then the next night we were supposed to get them too, but I was looking at the map for that, and they like crept to the Wisconsin border and never got further south. So we drove all the way out to the suburbs, and like there's a forest reserve out in Lamont or something, where it's supposed to have the lowest light pollution in the entire Chicagoland area. And we got there, and there was just thousands of people out there doing the same thing we were doing. And we were just waiting for these Northern Lights to get there, and it didn't get below the Illinois border, so like 80 miles north of us or whatever. That's a reason to go back for me, at least, because I still haven't seen the Northern Lights. Have you?
No, I haven't.
You
either.
haven't?
Yeah, because like most of the time, you're going to want to visit these Arctic regions like northern
Yeah.
Norway, Iceland. You're going to want to do it in the summer.
Right. You wouldn't want
but
to be there in January when it's negative 40
Yeah.
and yeah.
I think going in January, the main reason would just to see the Northern Lights,
Mm-hmm.
which I mean, I probably wouldn't do it just for the Northern Lights. I'd need to be able to do a little bit more than just
Sure.
that. To
Yeah,
make
the
it worth
only
it.
thing about like they do that Nook water taxi, they do all those tours year round essentially. But if it's you only get 3 hours of daylight a day, it completely changes everything. I feel like I would love to go out to those fjords with even more ice around because it's in the wintertime with the Northern Lights overhead, and like the reflection off of like the natural ice would be ungodly beautiful.
That'd be an acid
it-
trip.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's something that you sacrifice everything else that we saw. But it was, I mean, I can't recommend going enough. It was so fun. A very different style of trip than I've ever done. Like I've usually done like cities or something like that.
Yeah,
And this was, we were in Nook, but most of the stuff that we did was outside of Nook, like on the water. It's a very water heavy place.
yeah. I mean, what was the most crowded place you were at the entire time you were there?
Doesn't exist.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
But
There
were
was
you
a
ever
cruise
in
ship
like
that
one
came in.
restaurant that was kind of
No.
happening, or just like
no, like every restaurant,
laid
like
back.
it was probably the most, probably that the hostel when they were playing would be the most crowded a place was when they were playing their music.
Yeah.
That would be the most. But most restaurants still had like 50% availability for tables when we were there. So it wasn't, nothing was really crowded. There was definitely hot spots around, like some of those bars. Oh, like the bars where we talked to the dude who was a journalist. That bar got pretty busy.
That looked like it was like a post-shift crowd or something.
That was a very local spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was the only place that there was a little bit of a feeling in the air that maybe we're not like super welcome in this place from time to time. But for the most part,
maybe.
but it wasn't bad. But that was
No.
the only place that I got even a little bit of that vibe that this is not for you type of situation, which would
Okay.
be fine. Like if
Yeah.
if you're like an area that's exploding with tourists, locals need to have their own spot where they're not
Yeah.
dealing with people who are there asking them questions about eating humpback whale.
Yeah.
Now, do you think tourism is exploding there? Like, have you
Yes.
talked to anyone where they're like, even though it's still not huge, it's way bigger than it was 5 years ago?
Yeah, the numbers used to be 20 to 30,000 as far as annual tourists. It's up to 150,000 now.
Oh, okay,
And that's
yeah.
because they added. It used to be the only flight in was from Copenhagen internationally.
Yeah.
And now and Reykjavik. So you have Reykjavik, Copenhagen still, but also there's a direct flight from London and one from Newark, which
Okay.
adds just so many more tourists per year. And it's great for them. Like, it is growing the economy. It's obvious that it's not a stagnant place by any means, where a lot of places that are remote are becoming more and more stagnant. This place is popping. And they said it's not just Nook, it's other places like Inuit or whatever.
Yeah.
Illiacet.
Illiacet, yeah, that's more north, and more people are going up there to see the glaciers, and because that's apparently where
Most people that we met,
of
other
glaciers
tourists and travelers, they were doing a few days in Nook and then a few days in Illiacet, which is was that 8 hours north? That was 8 hours north, right?
Yeah, and
Via boat.
That was the 8-hour ferry ride north. But there's so many different cool things that when you're there and you can see just a tiny little portion of what we did, because we did what felt like a long boat ride, like 4 hours, like essentially straight north one day, and then you realize that you're only about 60 kilometers away from Nook, like even with that long, and you still have. So here's how. From Miami to Newark is around 1,700 to 1,800 miles. From Newark to Nook is about 1,800 miles. So it's the same distance.
Yep.
Straight north.
And then from Nook to northern Greenland is another 1,800 miles.
And do they have some tiny villages up that far north?
Tiny.
You think?
Sporadic.
Like even the next biggest town in all of Greenland has 5,000 people.
Yeah, it goes
That's
from
Illiacet.
20 to 5, and then and then it probably.
And then
couple with, like,
everything else
2,000.
Everything else,
Yeah.
the next biggest one, all of them are less than 2,000.
Yeah.
And they're little settlements and things like that. But it was.
And you think it's only going to get like warmer up there, but that's not necessarily a good thing. I know if the entire Greenland ice sheet melts, the sea levels rise around.
Yeah, you can kiss like
23
New
to 24
Jersey.
feet.
You can kiss Miami goodbye.
Which
like,
we're kind of screwed.
I think
But
you can
maybe
kiss
we all
Chicago
just
goodbye because
move
of the
to
lakes.
Well, if all of the 80% of the ice sheet that's there, it's 7% of all the fresh water on Earth is in that ice sheet in Greenland, and it would cause the entire Earth to be 7 inches higher in water. If you just did it over the American continents, it would be 12 inches of water across all of it. Is how much water it would end.
Oh, I thought it would raise like the world's like temp level by 24 feet or something
No,
globally. If the entire Greenland ice sheet melted,
not 24 feet. No.
I think the global average sea level would raise 24 feet.
Maybe that's different than like the actual like on the ground difference. Maybe those are different terms, but
Yeah.
it's like 80% of the whole country is ice sheet, and that ice sheet
20% rock.
is 2 miles deep.
Did you see a single tree?
No. Well,
yes.
they were imported.
They were imported trees.
Yeah.
There was like little Christmas tree farm
yeah.
Okay.
that was outside. That was another question, because like you're think about how cold it is, and you would think cold area they rely on fireplaces. The fuck are you burning?
Yeah, and like what did like the Vikings burn? and
Whale
stuff?
blubber.
Yeah.
Whale blubber.
So we ate whale there too, which was not good.
It was like
Do you recall
cold.
what type of whale it was?
I think it was hump.
Oh, you tried some hump. I thought they were like very protected.
They chopped it up like
No,
guanciale,
they laugh
kind of.
about that shit. They're like, dude, there's like one of the guys was like, there's 55,000 people here. He's like, how many of these whales do you think we could eat a year?
yeah.
He's like, it's not like we're killing a bunch of them. It's like 1 or 2.
Especially when it's not even that good.
Yeah, they
I
like
think-
it a lot.
Yeah, they probably
Oh,
like
they
it. It wasn't like. So
And seal, they eat seal.
I don't think we had the seal though. That was
We
the one
didn't eat
thing.
seal.
Yeah. So the whale blubber,
But
they
did you
chopped it
just
up
see
like
seal on the
guanciale or
menus?
something.
We saw. I don't know if we saw. Oh, we definitely saw seal jerky in the grocery store.
Okay.
But we were asking about sustainability. They're like, dude, there's so many seal, there's so many reindeer. There's
For the
so, like,
reindeer,
it's
you
not
can
an
get
issue.
5 tags a day, and if you
Yeah.
tag out, you tag out, but you can go back the very next morning and get 5 more. It's just 5 per day is the limit.
I would love some seal
That
jerky. You guys didn't have
It is
to
a
bring any home?
boondoggle. I would love to go back and hunt reindeer with Sydney Wells. That is like officially on my bucket list.
She'd do it in a heartbeat.
She would absolutely do it. Yeah.
I mean,
Not-
is there even a hunting season for seals? I would like to see you and Sydney Wells just up in Greenland clubbing seals.
I
don't wanna see that.
I don't want to club seals. I have a respect for nature, Donnie. I
That
would,
be
however,
great.
shoot a
You guys would
reindeer
be
and consume
heroes of the internet.
every ounce of it. I'm sure we would. Yeah, if we
People-
just went
Yeah,
flogging
just clubbing
seals. Yeah.
Everyone would love that content.
yeah.
I mean, that's what the the Vikings used to eat a lot of seal.
We saw a
and
couple
walrus.
seals, split second worth when we were on the boat. They would like pop their head out and then get right back under.
Yeah.
Today's show is also brought to you by our good friend at Reese's. If you're smart, you're going to have some snacks for the plane. You might as well load your backpack up with some Reese's. I highly recommend the Take 5. The Nutrageous is one of my personal favorites as well. They have the new cups that have like the s'mores inside with a little bit of marshmallow. They have some with jelly that are like peanut butter and jelly cups as well. Basically, any type of candy that you want, Reese's has it under their banner. Reese's is also the official candy partner of Barstool Sports. It's what we're all eating, especially when we're going to go to camp. Me and you, we're riding together with Kate and Danny Conrad. You already know I'm going to have a backpack full of snacks because you got to keep Kate busy. Otherwise, she's going to start doing weird stuff. So you just got to keep throwing Reese's at her so she'll just eat those.
And that's not a short drive. That's like 5.5 hours. So
yeah, it's a long drive.
We're going to burn through a lot of Reese's.
Yeah, especially those animal cookie ones, the animal cracker ones with the little chocolate coating on it. So delicious. Reese's, it's the official candy partner of Barstool Sports. Go get Reese's wherever you shop. In a world.
Yes, that's right. Drop a Pin's also brought to you by Mutiny, starring Jason Statham. It's pretty much Die Hard on a boat, from the director of Plane, from the star of The Beekeeper, The Meg, and The Expendables. In this movie, me and Chaps have already seen it. Jason Statham's a one-man army who exposes an international conspiracy, uncovers a human trafficking ring, and you can't go wrong with Statham, one of the most defining action stars of the last 25 years. So, watch Mutiny only in theaters this Friday. This drops on Monday. See it this Friday, which I believe will be August 21st. Well, let's quickly go over the history of Greenland. So people came from Norway and settled Iceland. That's the
Egda.
crazy journey.
I think I finally got it. Egda.
That's right.
Look up Hans, Hansegede.
Who's Hans?
Hans Egda there's his statue. He was a Norwegian minister who was, I don't want to, I'm going to do it for simplicity, but he's like their Christopher Columbus, kind of. He was like the founder of the, but they actually look up to him. We figured it would be Leif Erikson, but he's like the guy that their statues and they talk about and they look to is like.
Leif was the guy that founded the settlements in North America. Like,
I know, but he landed on Greenland originally.
Greenland,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, he left from Greenland and then,
to get down here, right. Before Columbus.
In Newfoundland area.
Yeah, like this was like 400 years before Columbus.
Right.
500 years.
But he's like the main guy. I don't know too much about him beyond that, but because it was low-key, I believe we asked, like, what do you guys think of Leif Erikson? And he was like, oh, well, we know who he is, but Hans, I couldn't understand how they were saying it. Hans Egda is the guy that you need to know.
And there is,
was he
like,
the one
there's
who
definitely
brought Christianity to Greenland?
He may have been, yeah.
Lutheranism.
Yeah.
But he was also...
Or Lutheranism, so yeah.
Like, there is mixed feelings about it still. It's kind of... I would say it's very similar to Columbus's reputation here, where everybody knows, some people like, some don't, but everybody understands, like there's debates about taking down his big statue at the top of the hill by the church there, too. Like, I did read about that they had... discussions about that. So I think that's basically the same no matter where you're in the world with like colonization, like people wanting to go back. Well, like I know that they have a big push to return the names to traditional Greenlandic names.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so Hans wasn't the like Viking who found Greenland and set the Norse settlements. He was the one who rediscovered it, because like after a while the Norse settlements just died out in Greenland. I think it was too hard to bring in supplies from Europe and Iceland. So there was like, and then I think it wasn't until the 1700s or something, you can read that, the 1600s, that he had like all these people in Denmark and Norway had heard stories of the Viking settlements in Greenland. They're like, we should go back and set up a colony there. And that's where this guy came into play. Yeah, but I think he started to convert probably the Inuits and stuff to Christianity. And I don't know if he was always like, I'm sure he did some of that by force. Wasn't always...
Probably
by choice.
Typically how it
does,
goes.
yeah. I think the craziest journey that was done back in the day was like when they traveled from Norway to Iceland, because that's just like a lot of open ocean. And then I think they found Greenland just trying to get back to Iceland, but they missed it. And if you miss
They
Iceland,
went the opposite way.
well, no, just if you're a little too far
Oh,
south,
yeah.
then you're
I
gonna
know
miss
what you're
That's
Iceland.
a real
Yeah.
proper backdrop.
Yeah, and then boom, you're just gonna land on Greenland.
Yeah, but I guess overall, highly recommend. I think
Yes.
that it's a trip that if you're wanting to do something that's off the beaten path, and you could do this with very little travel experience too. It's not a place that I think there's certain places that we've talked about that are a little more intense. You could go here easily.
Oh yeah,
Like even if it's your first international trip, you could go.
Like
to
you said,
Greenland.
just go get your flight and book all your day trips through the water taxi, and your vacation's set for you.
Yeah.
yeah. You were saying that the other tourists that you did meet there were all very well traveled.
Oh yeah.
And I was like
anybody-
the least well-traveled person on the entire island that was there for tourism.
like everybody had been all over the place.
And were they like adventure photographers or all
Yes,
have
like a lot of
yeah.
people with super long cameras. A lot of people, like one dude had a drone, which is awesome
Sliced his
because we'll
hand
be
up.
able to put that. Yeah, he pulled a Hank and had to grab it because it like the boat was pretty small, so he was trying to land it and it like couldn't find enough space to land, so he ended up having to grab it, and the propeller like hit his finger and cut his finger open. He didn't need to go
Yep.
to the hospital or anything, but it was still it was pretty gnarly. But yeah, everybody like people, which was awesome too. Like, and if you're into geography or into travel, going on like the Nook water taxi, you're likely going to be talking to people who have been to countries that you haven't, that you're interested in. Like we
Yeah.
were talking to people who have been to like the Falkland Islands, like who have been to like the Seed Bank in Norway, who have been like did the Southern Lights in very southern New Zealand.
Oh, the Southern Lights. You never think about that.
Yeah, and so he was telling us like what the difference was there. Got one guy was from Myanmar. We had another from Malaysia that was in the group. People were from several people from Germany and Austria that were there as well. So it was people from all over the world that have very different travel experiences.
And then this family from Boston.
Yeah, and then
Thickest massholes accents I've ever heard.
Really?
He's like, hey,
Massholes?
is that a Barstool Sports
Yeah.
hoodie?
What? Get the
oh my
fuck
god,
out.
it's fucking Uncle Chaps.
Really?
Yeah.
And he decided to bring his family.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like
the whole family
two
went there?
women, a little girl, and
I
their
think it was
dad.
his two daughters.
They're like,
and-
can you take
yeah.
a selfie with us? We're gonna send it to our Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike's gonna be so
Fucking-
jealous.
Was one of their names Tanya?
Probably.
Yeah.
But
Come on, Tanya. We're going to Greenland.
they were super nice and telling us
I
there.
want to go to the Cape.
So you could do it expensive. Ours was $700 for the trip for our lodging. Theirs was $7,000.
Yeah, they
for
were
a big Airbnb.
I thought they said per person. I was like, I'm like,
No, it wasn't seven.
I will say this: to go back to like how the people were as a whole, like what were they like, European, American, their own. I thought that they were like their sense of humor was just like ours. Like completely, like they were busting the hot guy's balls for being a biophysicist. Because when Chaps, he was telling me, I didn't see this convo, but he's like, so what do you do for work? And he like put his head down. He's like, I'm a fucking
we go
astrophysicist.
around the. So I asked him, like,
don't
what
be
do you
ashamed
guys
of
do?
that.
One guy's like, oh, I'm a graphic designer. Two of them are like, I'm a music teacher. One guy is like, I'm an accountant. And then we get to the hot guy, and he goes, I'm a biophysicist. And they go, what? What was that? And he's like, I'm a biophysicist. He's like, oh, look at me. Biophys- I'm so attractive and smart.
Tell us something about biophysics. Like if you say you're a stand-up comedian, they're like, tell us a joke right now.
Yeah.
Teach us
He probably
biophysics.
could. He probably could.
Yeah.
But they were all great, man. Like, everybody was great.
Everybody was great except for one
Except
person,
for our nemesis.
which is why I wanted to bring up how great they were to highlight just the one dickhead on the entire.
I know
entire
exactly
plot
what you're
of
going to
line.
say. But I won't spoil it. I want to see if
So we got into Nuke on Tuesday, I don't know, like 8 or 9 p.m. We're bar hopping. We wake up early to start the day. And right outside our hostel was a bunch of these little
Pull up
igloo.
Inuk Hostel.
Yeah, you'll see 'em.
UK Hostel. Yeah.
First hit, yeah.
Click on just the pictures on the side. Yeah. All right.
Oh, well, this is showing a guy in a hot tub.
Yeah, so that hot tub right there. Yeah.
That
So
might,
was it?
well, that wasn't that exact one, but it was.
No, that's the hot tub. It's just.
Oh,
winter.
actually, no, that is the hot tub.
It's just winter.
Yeah, it's the hot tub. Yeah, I can tell. I thought it was from another perspective.
Yeah.
So. We thought this was included with the hostel, which included the hot tub and a really well-built pine cedar sauna, something. It was beautiful. And so Chaps pops into the hot tub. I starting up the sauna. I couldn't get the sauna lit. You had to, it was hand lit. So you had to start wood to these wood blocks that heat the sauna. I hop in the actual water, and then I went straight into the hot tub while Chaps was taking a dump inside or something.
That's right.
I'm in the hot tub alone, and this guy comes up. He's like, "Do you have a reservation?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we have a reservation. It's under Chaps's government name." And he's looking at the list. He's like, "You don't have a reservation." And I remember the conversation we had from the previous day when we checked in. Chaps made the hostel booking through hotels.com, I believe.
Booking.com, yeah.
Or booking, whatever it was.
If you want to sponsor the pod.
Yeah, Booking.com
and
definitely should.
There was a little confusion when we were checking into the hostel about where the reservation was made. So I thought it was something like that. They just didn't have it or something. So I go inside and I walk into our hostel and he's like, no, this is a different company. Or those you are not yours. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. This is legitimately 5 feet from our front door.
Yes.
They're basically out when people are if you fart in the hot tub, you could hear it from our room.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how close they were. So we just assumed they were ours to use. We were in it for maybe 30 minutes total.
Yeah.
And this guy, you can take it from here. He just kept going.
So the
this
guy
is crazy.
comes in and Dave's like, he's saying that we didn't book. I'm like, what are you talking about? We already checked in. I paid yesterday. So I come out. I'm like, oh, we paid yesterday. Sorry for the misunderstanding. He's like, no, the hot tubs. And I was like, oh, is it not included? And he's like, no. And then he goes on basically 5-10 minutes of just saying how crazy we are for thinking that it was included. And essentially implying that we're scumbags.
Yeah.
For not doing it. And I was like, I'm being as gracious as I possibly can, And
Whip
I'm
out credit
this is your
cards.
first morning in Greenland.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll pay whatever it is. We'll pay for it. Because I'm thinking, how much could it be? $50? You know,
Yeah.
That's
tops?
still a lot of money.
That's still a lot of money for 30 minutes of hot tub.
yeah.
He comes back
The next day.
the next day, to get it because he didn't have the credit card machine or whatever. It was $150 each to use the hot tub.
Oh, I thought
And
that was
then
going to be a one-time fee for your room, which is
No.
still a shit ton of money.
Yeah, it was $150 each, and then he's still for I'm paying this insane price.
I
and
didn't think he was going to charge you for that. I thought he was going to be like,
No.
oh, you're sorry, I made a mistake. We
No.
won't use it again.
He's
He was
okay.
like, no, you went in, you're paying?
Yeah, and so he came and he kept calling me crazy over and over again. And listen, I'm a calm fella at this point in my life.
Especially when you're out and not in your home turf.
I've done a lot of therapy to get to be as nice and calm as I am now.
Yeah.
But my blood was starting to boil. Listen, I've said, I apologize a million times.
You've gotten
but in my head, I'm
$300 from us.
you got 2 more minutes, brother.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to have to start saying something. I'm not just going to let you berate me for fucking ever.
Yeah, dropping
hot
the
tub.
crazy bomb on someone you just met.
It was relentless
Relentless, dude.
over
Fucking
multiple
times.
conversations, too.
It'd be like arguing with Portnoy. Where he's just when Dave is
Yeah.
he narrows in on something, he's just going to hammer on that
Yes.
one thing.
And in that case, Dave, you know his personality, but this is a complete stranger.
Yeah, and you tell Dave to shut the fuck up too. You're not just
Yeah.
sitting there taking it. You can give it back to Dave, but I'm on this guy's turf. I'm in his country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be a conqueror of this hot tub situation. That's not what I want. But I'm also at the same time, I will fucking kill you. Still,
I was
How
in
would
the
be such
shower
a
for the
bummer if I'm
second.
like, hey, chaps, how was the trip? You're like, I may have murdered a local.
Yeah.
there's still that deep inside where I'm not going to take it forever. And I told Dave, I was like, he had probably 30 more seconds before I was going to lose it.
It's such just a common mistake. It's okay, I'm sorry, sir.
Going after I tapped.
So this was after
I
you
paid the $300 for me and Dave because Dave wasn't out there. I paid $300, and I tapped it, and that really should have been the end of it. Been
See you later.
Thanks so
Yeah.
much. Appreciate it. If you guys want it again, let me know. We'll and won't be that expensive, type of thing. But I paid. And he's like, I just can't. This is just so crazy. Who would think that? And I finally go, everyone. Everyone else in the world would assume that a hot tub that's essentially mounted on the wall next to their room, that they could use that hot tub. I also didn't think that I would have to pay for the bathroom or the shower, because typically those are amenities that are included. You know, I've gone to hundreds of hotels across the world and have never thought, oh, you can't use these amenities that are here.
Yeah.
Like, that's part of it.
That's insane.
And but that was the only even remote type of run-in that we had that was even slightly bad, was that one fella.
That was just one. He was the exception to the rule.
Yeah. Of all the people that have ever been to Greenland in the history of Greenland, of the 0.0027% of people who have ever been there, he was the 0.0027 asshole Greenlander.
Yes.
Okay. I was going to end the pod by asking you guys what was your peak and valley of the trip. I assume that experience was the valley for...
Yeah.
That was the only...
I would say further than the valley, that was the pit.
That was the pit. Okay.
But that was like literally the one...
Yeah,
that was the only
single... The only thing.
But if you had to pick just one peak from the whole trip, would you be able to do it?
Like
one moment that was you were at your happiest?
When this is going to sound kind of cheesy, kind of corny. It doesn't fit the vibe completely, because you think Greenland, you think the nature. But when we were drunk listening to this music, and what I like when I'm listening to live music is someone who's so good at music that they're teaching themselves the song they're playing while like off the riff, you know, like off the cuff. And they were so gifted on the guitar that they were doing that. So you could hear him try to figure out Paul Newman's You Got a Friend in Me. And he's like sitting there plucking strings. And then all of a sudden it clicked and he started playing it. I'm like, holy shit, this is good. And his voice was unbelievable. But for the second stanza, his bandmate or whatever, the other guy, he started singing in Inuit and Greenlandic, and it flowed perfectly with the chords and the actual song progression. I was I will never
and the
ever
sun
ever
setting, and you have those views out the window of this big restaurant. And they're
exactly
huge, like picture windows, so you could see like the whole area.
It melted
out there.
my soul. It was so good,
awesome.
But like you think the nature at the same time. Like I love just walking outside and just like looking.
Yeah, I would say my favorite time is just sitting. Like in the crowberries.
In the crowberries, they were like good seats.
There. I was like, do I have crowberries on my ass?
A little bit.
like just looking out, enjoying a beer, watching people do a little fishing, watching people like play with their kids in the water, and like other people. Another dude was standing out there smoking a cigar. You have boats that are going by, just so peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
It was also really fun to see little icebergs, and we would look over, be talking to each other for like 5 minutes, and look out, and the iceberg had flipped and was completely different, and then it would flip again, and like you could see how the landscape just is constantly adjusting,
moving. Yeah,
it's a place that if you like nature, you'll absolutely love visiting, and if you don't love nature, you'll absolutely love visiting, because you'll have to. If you have eyes, you'll like this place.
I'm trying to think. I mean, who doesn't like nature? I mean, there's some people that like.
Even Liam Buttman was like,
you think actually Liam Buttman likes the winter, and I guess it gives off winter vibes. So
he said that. I was showing him. He was like, "That's my kind of place. Cold, dark, puffins."
Gloomy.
Yeah, we need to send Liam Buttman there in the middle of winter. He'll love it.
I am 100% going back. I would go back. That's the thing. Like with the travel day, it's a perfect weekend trip, because like long weekend, you can do it over 5 days, like we did, Tuesday to Sunday.
Have the flight delays and stuff.
Of course.
I think the cost of the flight would be the only thing.
That's it. If you have the means, throw money out the window,
or if you use your point smart,
or that. Yeah.
Yep.
But I can't wait to go back. I would go back next month if afforded the ability. But I think I'm going to give it 1 decade, because I would love to see the transformation of Nuuk over a 10-year period, because it's going to grow like crazy. I just got back
from... It's going to be part of America.
Have you been you have not been to Dingle, correct?
Donnie, don't say that.
No. It will not. I mean, I'm sure it's got some good mineral deposits.
It's already basically part, if you consider NATO, but whatever. I don't want to get into that.
Yeah,
but
no. I'm pro Denmark remaining...
They're pro Denmark not even involved.
Yeah,
they want Greenland.
They just want to be. They just want to be Greenland.
Yeah. Greenland should belong to Greenlanders. They pretty much already
are Greenland, because it's a self-governed whatever, like
autonomous.
Yeah.
But
they just have a coastline.
If they wanted, they could snap their fingers literally overnight, and they could be a different version of Dingle. Like a further north version of Dingle.
I have never been to Dingle. I know it's PFT's favorite place in Ireland, and it looks
Dingle's
very
awesome.
beautiful.
It is I've been to a couple European tourist traps. I don't want to call it a trap because that implies bad, but like Lake Como, Dingle, places like that are built for tourists, you know? Nook is not really that. It could be overnight, like within a year or two, that it could be Dingle. It could absolutely be Dingle.
Yeah, or Iceland.
I haven't been, so I can't compare, but...
Yeah. But either way, highly recommend. I can't wait for everybody to see the vlog. We got unbelievable drone footage, too, of the icebergs and the the villages that we've been talking about, and just so much stuff that I can't wait for everybody to see, and that'll be out in a couple weeks. September 16th. There it is.
My dad's birthday.
It's a solid day. Oh,
wow.
Shout out. All right, that's it for Greenland. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Peace.